this television. Excuse the music in the background. We're trying to get the baby to go to sleep here. So anyways, we're taking a little drive today. This one's going to be a little interesting for you guys. We're going to have some discussions about picking the right parts for your build, making sure that everything matches up, because everything you do, if you do it right, is supposed to work together and be all one. Anyways, we have a long drive ahead of us. Beautiful wife over there. We're actually driving, for those of you that aren't in Alaska, it's roughly about 2.5 hours on a day where there's good road conditions. Right now it's actually kind of the spot we're in. It let up a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. Anyways, it's kind of snowing a little bit. We do have some mountain passes we're going through. Actually, what's funny is we're driving in not the best road conditions. What I would guess would probably be about a 3-hour drive, simply to go have a lunch. Actually, we are dropping off some parts to a guy, picking up some other parts. Actually dropping off parts to 2 people and picking up some other parts. But this is what we do in Alaska. You get bored, you drive in what the lower 48 probably considers crazy road conditions, and you go have lunch. Anyways, with that being said, I just want to kind of give you guys an introduction. We'll get some cool footage maybe up in the pass, show you guys some cool scenery from Alaska that those of you that have never been here before probably have never seen, or some that just got here probably have never seen. And like I said, we're gonna have some good discussions about picking the right parts for your truck. Here we go. All right, one thing I kind of actually forgot to mention in the introduction there is another thing we're gonna actually look at here is most of you, if you watch the other videos, know that currently the setup in the truck is, we've got a 4-inch turbo back exhaust. Truck has FICM tuning, but there is actually no ECM tuning in the truck. Of course, all the updates, head studs and whatnot, but we have a set of BD manifolds and a S362 T4 swap. Now, if you go online, read a lot of these older forums, there's really no updated information, current information on this, and I feel like turbo technology's come a long way in the last couple years. And as we kind of mentioned in some of our previous videos, this thing really is not that laggy. We do have intercooler tubes as well. So, between the manifolds, up pipes, the FICM tuning, intercooler tubes, I'm sure that helps with spool up. But once again, no ECM tuning and still actually running the factory intake. So one thing we are actually going to test on this trip is how this turbo does at elevation, because, as we all know, the big singles, really where they start having the issue is at elevation. We're going to top out around 6,000 feet elevation, but right now we're kind of pulling the first grade, and let me show you if I can get you some video here of kind of the dash boss and how we're doing. So I don't know if you guys can see that there. There's the dash boss. We're running our old iPhone 6 off it. Of course, still have check engine light because no ECM tuning, and we're running a T4 and an EGR delete. Anyways, we're about half throttle. We're not even actually. That's kind of a lie. Oh, sorry, a whole bunch of bumps going up here, but we're actually only about, I would say maybe a quarter throttle right now. You can see we're cruising right along 70 miles an hour, and we just pulled I don't know, if I had to guess, I think it's around a 6% grade. Now granted, we're only at a couple thousand feet elevation at this point, but that kind of gives you an idea. We're kind of peeking out towards the top of the grade here, give you some scenery views, but that kind of gives you an idea. I mean, quarter throttle, no problem getting this thing spooled up. Now granted, we're not towing a load, but even at that quarter throttle, no ECM tuning, this thing has no problem spooling and building boost. I'm impressed. Like I said before, I'm pretty much thoroughly impressed with this. Now we're getting ready to hit another long grade coming up here. I don't know if you can kind of tell, the video probably doesn't show the grade very well, but we're getting ready to climb up another couple thousand elevation in feet. So let's see how she does here. So here we go again. We're starting up this other grade here. Give it about a quarter throttle. I don't know if you can see right hand side, second from the top. hanging around 11, 12 PSI of boost. I'm actually having to let out of it. Now I'm barely, maybe not even an 8th throttle. Climbing up this grade here again, maybe a couple thousand feet above elevation, sitting right at 70 without giving it any throttle input. Grade's actually getting steeper. We're probably closer, maybe a 7% grade right now. Probably still a 6 actually. Somewhere right around there, about a 6% grade, maybe 7, somewhere in there. But once again, I mean, still right at 70. I actually have to let out of it to slow down here. But I mean, you know, no tuning in the truck to help this thing out at all. You know, no torque converter, nothing. I mean, other than the Fickum tuning, which of course does help with the pulse width there. I mean, other than having to give it a little bit to get the torque converter to unlock there and downshift, because we are still pulling this grade, which you saw there. But I mean, I'm not giving this thing any throttle input. Give it about maybe a quarter. We go from 65 to 70 there pretty quickly. I don't know. I'm impressed. So there's kind of some footage there of how this thing does, how she climbs. Like I said, I mean, spool up. I don't know. We're probably close, right around 5,000 feet now. I mean, we're actually up in the mountains. I don't know. I don't get, you know, like I said, if you go online, read around some of these older posts and whatnot, having to do with, you know, running big singles. Sorry about that, had to adjust. Running some of these big singles and whatnot on these 6.0s. A lot of guys, you know, I've seen posts where guys say, hey, I have custom tuning and 175/30 injectors and you know, my S362 is laggy and smoky. Honestly, I think it has to be the tuning. You know, like I said, we're not running any tuning, and I don't have a problem with this thing whatsoever. I do have to learn, or you do have to learn to drive it just a tad compared to like a stock VGT, but this is definitely nothing like running, you know, a big single. You know, this is not like running a S475 single on a Cummins or a Duramax or anything like that. I mean, this 362, it's in the 6.0. I think this is a perfect matchup, honestly. And a great option. If you're below, you know, maybe say 6,000-7,000 feet elevation, you know, I mean, we haven't stuck 10,000-15,000 pounds behind it, so I don't know yet. But like I said, I think it's a great match. Definitely what I would recommend. All right, I promised you guys some scenery. This is actually a common snow machining spot up here in Alaska. For those of you that aren't from here, this is kind of what you would call a parking lot, I guess. It's a pull out. You can see somebody's got their truck there. They're out riding mountains. But figured I'd give you guys a little scenery shot there. We'll continue our travels. So we're on our way back here from Soldotna Kenai area. Got everything dropped off. Went and stopped at Pizza Boys. For those of you that are in Alaska, live on the peninsula, have been there before, you know their food is delicious. If you have never been to Alaska, or you just haven't been around the Kenai Peninsula enough to stop over there at Pizza Boys, definitely worth a stop. Anyway, so we wanted to have a little discussion, or I did, to talk to you about picking the right parts for your truck. Now, the reason that I bring this up is all too often we get people inquiring about products for their truck that might not necessarily fit their build or their goals or what they're trying to do. So essentially, more or less, just kind of wanted to have a little, I guess, discussion, or I guess repeat some information that's been out and about in the industry for quite some time. And that's basically have a discussion with your tuner, have a discussion with your parts person, talk to them about your goals. For example, if you're trying to build a daily driver that you tow your toys on the weekend, you don't want to necessarily go with a big single or like a, I guess, T4 of a larger size. That's definitely not a turbo selection per se that would be good for necessarily towing a lot, driving daily, that sort of thing. Now, there are a lot of guys that do it. You know, I mean, I have friends actually that run large singles on their trucks and, you know, drive them and have fun with them and then still tow with them. I wouldn't recommend it. It's probably not ideal. Can be done, I suppose. The other thing is, you know, matching the products for your vehicle or your truck. You want to make sure, like I said, you know, if, for example, that same truck, same scenario with the daily driver, you're commuting to work and you tow your toys on the weekend, drop-in style turbo, compound, something like an S475 over stock, stuff of that nature. Those are great setups for that. Now, something that you might drive to work daily, but it's really more a toy on the weekends at the strip, the sled pull, stuff like that. Excuse the frost heaves there. Like I said, we are driving back, so the road's not necessarily ideal in all those spots. Anyways, you know, something like that would be a great place for a big single. You know, they are a lot of fun. The power band comes on different. The best way I can describe it is like, for those of you that know dirt bikes, ATVs, stuff like that, 2-stroke versus 4-stroke. You know, that big single is kind of like that 2-stroke. It takes a second to wrap it up, but you know, once you get into that power band, hold the heck on. Anyways, the other thing is like, you know, making sure that all the parts you do match. So, for example, you know, a big thing is like a lot of guys, they have plans to build their truck big. They don't want to necessarily spend the money twice. So you'll get where some guys will want to put, let's say, 150% injectors in their truck that they have a drop-in style, you know, VGT or even the stock turbo because they need a set of injectors. Now, the key there, like I said, is 150%, not 150 horsepower. Big difference in size there. That's a whole different subject as far as injector sizing, differences between horsepower and percent rating. But with that being said, you know, a lot of folks, if you talk to injector companies, you talk to builders, you talk to, you know, your tuner, your parts guy, they're going to recommend go with something a little bit smaller, go in stages, you know, maybe go like a 60%, something of that nature, 45%, somewhere in there, run that, and then when you're ready to, you know, add the air, the turbos, you know, everything else that goes along with those big 150% injectors, then send them out, have them honed and gone through again. Yes, it is a little more expensive that way, but here's the thing. You don't want to have a truck that's smoky and laggy, and, you know, there was actually a great podcast talked about recently where they were actually kind of discussing this topic and talking about how, you know, a tuner can tune for these things, but they can only do so much. You know, if you go crazy with, you know, a crazy big turbo, or, you know, the opposite end of the spectrum with crazy amounts of fuel and not enough turbo, that sort of stuff, a tuner can only do so much. You know, yes, they can dial it in. Yes, there is a night and day difference between what they can do if you give them the time to actually dial that setup in. But once again, they can only do so much. So make sure all those parts match. The other thing is, you know, that most people don't think about is even stuff, you know, we have all these tuning platforms out there now. Like if you go to our website, www.armripandtoys.com, you'll notice that pretty much for just about every truck, make, model, year, that sort of thing, there's multiple tuning platforms and multiple companies. Once again, picking the right scenario, right setup for your truck is key. You know, what platform or one platform for somebody that is ideal for their situation may not necessarily be ideal for the next guy's situation. Perfect example of this, let's pick a 6.7 Power Stroke, okay? We can put EZ-Link tuning in that Power Stroke with a switch, with all the goodies, and get it done for, let's say X price. Now, the flip side to that is that we can actually put an SCT in your truck with shift on the fly tuning for less money. So then the question becomes, well, if it's less money, doesn't that make it better? Not necessarily, not all scenarios. The thing is, some guys like to be able to use their phone. They like the technology. They like to be able to use technology. And their phone is one of those awesome, things. They want to be able to integrate it with their truck. So therefore, they like the EZ-Link platform. The EZ-Link platform fits their needs. And also, it has some other great features such as data logs, being able to monitor the truck, being able to actually go and not only monitor the truck, but actually go and send these logs or have chats with your tuner or your technician. We're actually set up to be able to do that, even though we don't do the tuning. We sell other folks tuning. We actually can, basically chat with you through the EZ-Link app, and also, view logs, that sort of stuff. So that's some great features about that platform. On the flip side, you can save a few $100 by going with the SCT, and this is with the new GTX, of course. So, with the new GTX, of course, that's SCT's latest, greatest monitor. It has awesome features. It gives you a monitor that's actually in the truck to where you don't have to use your phone. You don't have to type your phone, and I know that some guys will buy, a cheap tablet, stuff like that. I mean, heck, we're using our old iPhone 6 for our monitor on the 6.0 shop truck, because we're using a dash box for monitoring purposes. But, those are just some things to think about, So I guess the moral of the story is have the conversation. Talk to your tuner. Talk to the person selling you the parts. Talk to, whoever, the shop that you're taking your truck to, whoever you're dealing with. Talk to them, have the conversation, pick their brain, let them know what you like and don't like, and let them put together a build list that's for you. Or spend some time shopping and finding the parts that you like. Just because 10 other guys over here say, well, I like this setup and this is the best setup out there, doesn't mean that's the best setup for you or for your style, for your likes, for your dislikes, or for your truck. If you guys have any questions, we're happy to help. I tell guys all the time, even if you don't buy from me, at least let me get you pointed in the right direction with the right products. At the end of the day, I've had those scenarios where the best product for a customer scenario wasn't a product that I offered, but I pointed them in the right direction and was able to get them set up with somebody that could properly help them. So, have the conversation, ask the question, guys. With that being said, that'll pretty much wrap up this video. I hope you guys kind of like the scenery. We kind of, like I said, did a little bit of the review on the S362 and the 6.0 shop truck with no tuning. We're actually going to get some tuning going this week. We'll do some more shooting for you guys, some more video for you. Then probably just going to stick a single hot tune in this thing and go from there. Of course, we're actually going to keep working with these guys from 1023 Diesel on some 6.0 tuning. They're actually down in the States right now. Big, awesome 10X Growth Conference from Grant Cardone. And then last time I chatted with Dusty there, they're actually going to be doing some live tuning sessions down in Arizona. So if you're in Arizona, go check them out. I believe it's actually today. No, I apologize. Tomorrow, Sunday, they're going to be in Arizona. Check that out. If you're not on the Power Stroke pages in Arizona, go join them, check them out, go see Dusty, while he's down there. Even if you don't have a 7.3, go talk to him, go check him out. He's developing tunes for other platforms. Awesome tuning, awesome guy to deal with. Other than that, like I said, have the conversation, guys. If you have any questions for us, give us a call, hit us up on social media, stuff like that. We're happy to help. All right.